catastrophe. It has been allowed and enabled to become a catastrophe by those in Fianna Fáil and in Fine Gael who believe that the private sector can deliver homes for all. We know that is not the case. Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael's housing policies have failed abysmally.
A lot of young people just can't get on the property ladder. Landlords are bringing the rent up to an average of £2,000 a month. It's absolutely incredible. Young people are being forced to emigrate, forced to stay at home with their parents. It's just dreadful.
Official government policy is now that rents are not high enough. You see, rents need to go higher to attract in more investment from international vulture funds. And don't worry, the higher rents are going to result in lower rents in the long run.
It's almost 10 years since this current housing crisis started. And when we reflect on it, 10 years of crisis. It is no longer a crisis. It is very clearly a policy of government to have a permanent housing crisis.
Housing, a home, is a human right. Dignity is a human right. Our renters cannot be again put to the pin of their collar and screwed because the government wants to lick the boots of poo-poos and vultures and big investment funds. Our message today to Micheál Martin and Simon Harris's lads, the game is up, the people are at the gate.
Because the housing crisis doesn't just happen to us all in the same way. What the housing crisis is about is a manufactured crisis which sees a transfer of wealth from the majority, from the renters, from the workers, from the young people, to the tiny few at the top, the corporate landlords and the big developers.
And when we look to those who seek to divide us, who seek to fill this country with hate and division and blame immigrants and refugees for this crisis, we say this crisis is the fault of government, not refugees and immigrants.
Micheál Martin and Fianna Fáil laugh when we call for a state construction company. Well, they should learn their history, because the last time we built homes, social and affordable homes at scale in this country, it was done through a Fianna Fáil National Building Agency, an agency that had state backing and that could deliver at the scale that's needed. Because we know, and developers know, and builders know, and most of all, people desperate for a home know, that only the state has the pockets, the deep pockets necessary to bear the enormous risk of construction, and that's why the state can and must deliver social and affordable homes.
Start actually funding properly vacant and dereliction. So if you see around the city, there are thousands of vacant and derelict sites, and what we pushed through cross-party to do was a vacant and derelict sites bill to make sure that we use vacant and derelict sites properly.
Well, to bring rents down for a start, that would be number one, and obviously then to build more housing and to take away. There's a lot of vacant housing around the country that's not being used, that could easily be used, and the government could easily take that over with a compulsory purchase order.
So what we need, and the main thing why we're here today for Dublin Simon, is that we need a very clear housing plan. We need to have a plan that's very much connected with those that are in emergency accommodation so that they have a pathway into housing. We also need a housing plan that helps with prevention, that keeps people in their homes.
And the government talks a lot about blockages to blockages to housing and barriers to housing. The biggest barrier and blockage to housing in this country is behind us, and it's called Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. There was social housing, 500 social homes due to start on site in Dublin, in Wicklow, in Kildare and Sligo next month. Due to be built, start being built in areas in my own constituency, Ballymun, Whitehall, social homes. What did this government do? The Minister for Housing pulled the funding. The tenant in situ scheme, a scheme that was preventing families being made homeless. What did the government do? They got it. This government doesn't doesn't want to solve the housing crisis. It is just making it worse.